Despite being considered America's heroes, military veterans often face a number of vulnerabilities upon discharge from their service. While enlisted, the military ensures shelter, comprehensive health care, tuition assistance for the pursuit of higher education, and regular contributions towards retirement. Once their contract is terminated, however, those benefits immediately fall away, and the service member is at risk of encountering vulnerable situations, one of those being homelessness. Veterans are at a greater risk of homelessness than the general public, with 18 of every 10,000 people being a homeless veteran, according to D'Souza et al. In 2022. Veterans experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is an even more specific population at risk for health disparity. Combat-associated PTSD is linked to high risk of violence, suicidal ideation, and suicide. In 2022, it was reported that there were 33,129 homeless veterans in North America per D'Souza et al. According to Smelzen et al. In 2018, as many as 80% of homeless veterans were struggling with some sort of mental health disorder. Of those, it is estimated that 5% of them struggle with PTSD, according to Tsai, Hoff, and Harpaz-Rodham in 2017. With that, it can be determined that 1,656 veterans in North America are currently experiencing PTSD in conjunction with homelessness today. Suicidal ideation is outlined by Holliday et al. As thoughts of engaging in self-harming behavior without the action of physical harm, whereas suicide is defined as death caused by self-inflicted injurious behavior with the intent to die. It is estimated that 22 veterans commit suicide each day as an unfortunate circumstance of living with untreated combat-associated PTSD. In a study by Holliday et al. In 2020, it was determined that as many as 71% of veterans suffer from suicidal ideation, with a majority of those veterans having served in Operation Enduring Freedom. This begs the question, what is it like for veterans with PTSD experiencing homelessness with limited access to mental health care? Of the staggering number of homeless veterans previously mentioned, 19,565 of those are sheltered, and 13,654 are unsheltered, according to D'Souza et al. In 2022. Additionally, 3% of the total number of homeless veterans are listed to have dependents, meaning either a spouse or children or both. To be considered a homeless individual, one must regularly check into a formal shelter, such as an emergency shelter or a transitional housing program. Seeking shelter in abandoned areas or covered public spaces does not qualify the individual as a sheltered homeless veteran. Those in the unsheltered category are at a greater risk for committing crime, struggling with substance abuse, loss of financial security, and altered mental status. These additional vulnerabilities can impede the veteran's ability to gain and maintain employment, which has the potential to exacerbate PTSD symptoms. Cusack et al. Conducted a study in 2022 to identify the needs of homeless veterans and outlined several barriers to healthcare, as well as a genuine need for infrastructure for regular, safe shelter. It was determined that homelessness itself unfortunately acts as a barrier to healthcare. In a study by Weiner et al. In 2021, 16% of homeless veterans reported a perceived barrier to treatment for PTSD related to their housing or employment status. Without employment, the veteran is unable to earn the income necessary to maintain a residence or afford ongoing mental health support needed to live with such a diagnosis. Moreover, without health insurance, the veteran may find difficulty in seeking regular health care on top of mental health care services, as well as accessing prescriptions necessary for adequately managing post-traumatic stress. Surveying the homeless population, as was done in the study by Varley et al. In 2021, offers the opportunity for those affected to describe their experience and what needs are not being met. But creating programs to support these needs is a group effort that will require collaboration between state and federal governments. In a study which followed veterans experiencing chronic homelessness for a minimum of 1 year, it was determined that there was very little change in regard to meeting the needs of these individuals. The study by Tsai, Blue Howells, and Nakashima in 2018 outlined the top 3 unmet needs were related to income, shelter, and access to health care despite local programs dedicated to supporting this community. In the conclusion of the study, the statistical evidence was insignificant, which indicates that there was very little to no improvement in these areas. In conclusion, American veterans sacrificed their freedoms and risked their lives to ensure the safety for the American public. Once their service is completed, they are often forgotten and tossed to the side, left to make sense of the civilian world on their own. This vulnerable population deserves more. They deserve better. It's time that America takes a stand against homelessness for our military veterans and gives back hope to our homegrown heroes.